Hi everyone, my name is Rudo Kemper and I'm a geographer and technologist with Digital Democracy. Today I'd like to share with you a little bit about Terrastories, an open source application for mapping indigenous oral histories, and what we did for the GEO Indigenous COVID-19 hackathon. Now when I first read about the hackathon, I was very interested, but I became especially excited when I read about James Rattlingleaf Jr.'s Lapi Wawapi challenge. Lapi Wawapi, which means to write something for a purpose, called for an app that will support the transmission of knowledge between the elders and the youth while advancing the use of the language via digital stories that have a connection with the landscape. Now when I read that, I thought, hey, that sounds like this app we've been developing with communities in the Amazon rainforest called Terrastories. So I thought what I'd do was to build the app for the Lakota community and landscape as a hackathon submission to show how it can work for any indigenous community, and I can briefly show you that now.
Welcome to Terrastories. Here we have the entrance page of Terrastories for the Lakota, where I've added a landscape background image and a Lakota greeting message. You can translate all parts of the app into any language. This is the main Terrastories interface. As you can see, most of it consists of a map, where I added some Lakota territory data from native land. You can zoom in and out and interact with the map. In the sidebar, you have the stories that are associated with the place markers on the map. I added a mix of videos about Lakota lands and language that were linked to in the Lapi Wawapi challenge. By pressing or clicking on one of the stories, the map takes you to where it took place. You can also press or click on one of the map markers to filter a list of stories associated with that place in the sidebar. So here's a story about the Preston Mesa place in Arizona. It's also possible to filter the stories, for example, by region. I added stories from two regions, Lakota and Navajo. When I select Navajo, Terrastories zooms in on that region and filters stories associated with Navajo. You can also filter by the type of place, which is automatically populated from the story data, or you can filter by the speaker of the story if you only want to view stories told by a certain person. With Terrastories, it's possible to restrict stories that you want to protect, and only allow some people access to them. To do so, you can set up special logins for users who should have access to the stories, such as Lakota community members. Once you've logged in with a username and password, restricted stories that you have permission to view will show up. You can see that it's a restricted story if it has a little lock icon next to the title. This is how with Terrastories, communities can have full control over who has access to their data and who doesn't. And this completes our short demo of Terrastories for the Lakota, built for the Lapi Wawapi challenge of the GEO Indigenous Hackathon.
If anyone is interested in using Terrastories, we just released a live demo and some self-guided tutorials at terrastories.io, and you can get in touch with us there too. We'd love to help out. Thanks so much.